Well, good morning and welcome back. I'd like to welcome you back to the 2018 school year. I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day and had a great summer. To kick things off for the new school year, I wanted to mention, this is the first podcast of the 2018 school year, I want to mention we're going to change it up a little bit on a new format. So rather than the weekly format that I did last year, this will be the first of every month, and it'll be monthly. So I delayed this one a little bit because of the Labor Day holiday. I want to make sure we're all back at school, but from here on out, it'll basically be the first of each month. So tune in, more to come. To share, at first, I want to share a couple photos from this summer. So again, I hope you had a wonderful summer. We hosted a couple events that I just wanted to share with you today. And the first one was our Yearbook Camp. So for those of you who went, you're probably going to see a few photos of yourself here, and I hope you don't mind me sharing. For those of you who have not been to a Yearbook Camp, I just want to give you an idea of what it's like, because I think it's a great event to kind of keep the ideas flowing over the summer and really get a head start on the coming school year. So as you can see from the photos, we have sessions on everything yearbook, from layout and design to critiquing your yearbook to another program we're going to talk about a little bit more in the podcast called Square One, school work time where you get to brainstorm, alternative copy, photography, layout and design, break with a pro where we get to kind of look at last year's book, see what we liked, what we didn't like, what we want to change, as well as time with the artist. So this is Brett. He's from Kansas City. He's one of our many artists in the art department. And while at camp, each school has the unique opportunity to schedule time with the artist, brainstorm, share your theme ideas, and actually, with his help, create a cover on the spot. It's a sketch. It's not final artwork, but it's a great way to get things rolling for next year. So you'll see photos of that. During camp, we put together a theme packet. So you'll see we also practice with our presentation skills and put together layouts and present them to the group and critique as a group and again, start getting templates designed for the school year. With that said, as you can see, we have a lot of fun. Little photo booth here from ladies at Richmond Burton. We have computer lab time both for students and some just for the teachers, the advisors. And in here, we'll cover everything from e-design itself, which you'll be working with mostly, to e-business and all of those other tools, and really getting hands-on experience on how to use all those tools to your benefit for the school year. As you can see, we also have a lot of fun again with some team building exercises. Scroll down here real quick. Again, more in the computer lab. And again, with Brett, the artist, really cool opportunity to create your cover and other pieces, maybe your end sheet or your visual piece to go with your theme, maybe in the folder or whatnot. Any other visual element Brett can create with you as you watch and you get to interact. I will take a little tangent here on this concept of working with Brett. That was camp. The school year is started now here as you're watching the podcast. Please know that we always have the option of doing a virtual art session with the art department in Kansas City. And the way that works is much like camp this summer. You call in, there's a toll-free number, you call the plant, you get to talk to Brett. Speakerphone is great, especially if there's a group of you at school participating. And then Brett will send you a link, and you'll be able to see his screen on your screen at school. It's a great idea to put that up on the projector in the classroom. So as a group, you can watch just like a camp. You get to interact with Brett, give him ideas, what you need help with, and he creates it as you watch on the screen at school, even though he's in Kansas. So just know that's always available if you'd like to do that. We had some sessions on photography, and again, just a great time to go through all the little details, including color, fonts, all that, and really get things set up for the new school year. And in closing for camp, I'm sure my colleague appreciates this. Mo, you can thank me later. For those of you who know my coworker, it's one of my favorite pictures of you, Mo, at least current. Next event is an Advising Essentials event. This one's been going on for about 5 or 6 years. This event that I attended this July is geared specifically towards teachers, yearbook advisors. This event is in Kansas City rather than local in Lake Forest. It's at a hotel conference room environment, as you can see. And again, very similar topics for those advisors listening here who, and if you did attend, and there's a couple of you here, I'd love any other feedback you might want to share. I'd love to hear about your experience. For those of you who haven't attended before, it's geared just towards teachers. There's sessions, just like we do at camp. There's computer time, again, very similar to camp, but more of it's geared towards how to be, running a yearbook class or club. And we bring in speakers from all over the U.S., so it's a really cool way to get different perspectives on things. Then we put you on a bus and we take you down to the Kansas City plant, and you get to meet all these fun folks in customer service and in the production area and see behind the scenes and see how your books are made. So it's a unique experience if you've ever done a plant tour or whatnot. And we always have an open door policy. As a side note, if you're ever here in Kansas City traveling as a family trip or for work or anyone, and you want to come see the plant, just let me know. We can schedule up a personal tour for you. But this is a great experience for the summer. So if that's something you're interested in, please do let me know. Another activity, again, I mentioned Square One. We're going to watch a little video here in the podcast. And by the way, the podcast will be a little bit longer because we're looking at the monthly format here. So is Square One and getting more coverage. So we want to talk about getting more people in the book, because who wants a book if they're not included in it? So inclusion. And that starts off with an activity called webbing. You may have done this in class in other subjects. It's a great way to brainstorm as a group. What do we want to get in the book, and how can we fit them on a page? And Square One answers that question. And for those non-designers like myself, I'm a photographer at heart, but for those who are maybe not well-versed in creating a layout and have it look professional and an award-winning kind of layout, Square One helps with that. As you can see here, that's what we're doing by hand. We can do this at school. We start brainstorming ideas. We start on paper using these guides. And then once it's set up in eDesign or InDesign, if you're in InDesign, it really empowers the idea of mod design in a subset of layouts that you've created for your year this year that people can drag and drop. It's really that simple once you get it set up. So if that's an area that you're interested in learning more about, please let me know. We can talk more. I'll show a little video again showing some teachers and some students who used it last year in a few minutes here. Last photo I wanted to share was the recent solar eclipse. For those of you who know me, I'm sort of a photography geek. That's how I got involved in Yearbook as a student, and it's a strong passion of mine today. I was one of those crazy people who drove down to southern Illinois, basically at the Kentucky border, along with the other 2 million people who tried getting home afterwards, and witness a solar eclipse in person. Amazing event. If you attended, I'm sure you agree. If you didn't attend, it's happening again in 6-7 years, Indianapolis at that time, so it's a little closer. Photos are great. They don't do it justice. I, of course, enjoyed taking the photos, but the best advice I read beforehand was be sure to enjoy the event and not just get caught up behind the camera. So I had on a tripod, as you can see. I met up with friends, and I was just using a remote trigger release, and I was just watching it with the glasses. So point here is these are the photos that I walked away taking. I'm more than happy to share them with you. If you're doing a spread in your yearbook this year about the solar eclipse, just being kind of one of those events that happened this year, I'm more than happy to share these with you. Copyright free, of course. All I ask for is a little photo credit if you don't mind putting it in there, but I am happy to share those with you. It was cool. So it started here, and as the total eclipse happened and we got to see it in person, we could take the glasses off. It was nighttime, middle of the day, 1:30. We had pure darkness for like 2.5 minutes, I think, and then it was day again. So really cool event. Hope you got to see it. If not, I'm happy to share that with you here, and I can include a link to that in the podcast today, and you're welcome to download those and use those. So, okay, let's see. Other topics we're going to cover. So 2 critical topics we want to focus on this time of year. Number 1, yearbook sales, and number 2, coverage from day 1, right? So we'll get into Square One more in a minute and all the layout tools to help you create it. But the fact of the matter is, if 1, we haven't sold the book from the start of the school year, no one's going to buy it. 2, if we don't cover everything with photos, interviews, and all that, we're not going to have anything to put in eDesign or InDesign. So let's make sure we set the sales up. We're going to talk about that in great detail here in a minute, as well as coverage from day 1 and getting pictures taken. So again, a little tangent. I shared the photos with you and explained a little bit about Square One and what it is. I'm going to show you a quick little video that shares an experience from a couple different schools last year, and I'll be right back.
My name is Beth Ward, and I am the yearbook advisor at Malden High School in Malden, South Carolina, and I've been advising the Reflection staff for 16 years. For my staff members, the Square One is just a priceless concept. The fact that Students today are such visual learners. The square one visually for kids being able to see that, it makes sense, and I think it eliminates the anxiety and the overwhelmingness of trying to design a whole spread.
My name is Leanne Mellon, and I'm the yearbook advisor at Clover High School. Square One actually allows us not only to get out and have the time to cover other students, but it gives us the opportunity to put more students on the page. So our coverage definitely increases. Now with these pre-designed mods, we can put 4 or 5 on a page, so it allows us to really cover those students that maybe weren't in the book before.
My name is Nath Kapoor, and I'm the yearbook editor at Eastside High School in Greenville, South Carolina. So my freshman year, I first started designing, and the blank page that I first started with, when I pulled up eDesign, it was so scary and I did not know what to do with it. But then my rep introduced me to Square One, and it was so much easier to design with this grid because it simplified how we use hierarchy and how we spread content across the page, because design is architecture.
My name is Emily Taylor, and I am the yearbook sponsor at Swansea High School. I think one of the biggest challenges with yearbook in 2017 is coverage, is trying to get students into the book as many times as possible because they want to see themselves in print. I believe that Square One helps me achieve that coverage because it takes away the time that we would use to create designs. Instead, we can create mods, and those mods are so versatile that we can drop them in on any page that we want. If something's not working right, we can take that mod out and drop in a different mod that has maybe a different number of pictures or has a quote package instead of a candid picture package.
I'm the content editor of the Swansea High School yearbook staff. Square One allowed us to have the flexibility to build mods ahead of time and drop them in where we needed them to get the coverage we needed. This year we have managed to include everyone in the book at least 3 to 4 times.
Our number one goal is to get as many students in the yearbook as we can. Square One helps us get more students in the yearbook.
Again, he said it right there at the end. Square One helps you get more people in the yearbook, and that translates to yearbook sales and just everyone enjoying the yearbook more because they're involved. So the difference between now and last year when I first mentioned this program is we've updated quite a bit. It's implementing eDesign more now. We have a library of pop-ins that are ready to go that you can pick and choose from, make your own, and really get it set up more quickly. So it's available. Again, that's for later. We got to make sure we get everything covered and get yearbook sales. I just want to mention that as something new this year to consider. If you're interested, please let me know, and I'm happy to come and visit, and we can talk more about that. Okay, we're going to switch over to yearbook sales again. And one thing I did want to mention before we go into this sales assist emails is DECA. If you guys have a DECA chapter at school, this is something really powerful to consider teaming up with your DECA students. Herff Jones, as a company, has partnered with the DECA organization. There's a contest, and essentially these students can really help boost your yearbook sales. So if that's something you haven't looked at and you'd like more information, please let me know. I'd be happy to talk through that with you. Okay, the sales assist email. So this is really directed towards parents. I wanted to mention a couple highlights and improvements from last school year. So those of you who used it, I hope you saw an increase in your yearbook sales. Those of you who have not, I encourage you to consider it. This is a completely complimentary program that we've got some really professional, marketing sales folks who are familiar with social media and utilizing different tools, including printed postcards, to promote your yearbook sales. So a couple of phrases you're going to see here. CTA, call to action. I want to mention this because the most common question I got last year was the deadlines, right? So those of you listening who utilized this program last year, we may have had a conversation about, why are the deadlines what they are and why can't I change them? So I just want to explain that up front. The deadlines that people are going to see on these, and I'll just jump to one so you can see what I'm talking about, September 1st. The deadlines here can't be changed. And the reason is I just want to let you know that they're not just, guessed at or whatnot. There's a lot of research that has gone into this. And again, folks who know best practices of using social media, like a simple email or otherwise, to promote sales. It's to kind of create a sense of urgency and to make sure people click on the button to buy your yearbook instead of, you know, filing it away. So know that those are there for a reason. Things that have been taken into account to set those dates are school calendars from all over the U.S., national holidays, and just general yearbook experiences we've seen and trends in yearbook sales when they happen. So they can't be changed. I want to let you know up front, my best suggestion to work with that rather than against it is consider, and I have a calendar here to share with you, consider mirroring these dates with your own in-school sales efforts, right? Maybe tie it to tiered pricing. So when they go out, there's an encouragement to buy now for an early bird discount, for example, or a sale, you know, where they get an autograph supplement with it if they order by a certain date. So again, the whole year is laid out. You're welcome to see it. I can send this calendar to you if you're interested. This is actually for you at school to use and create notes of how you might, you know, complement. So again, CTA, call to action, email 1. Is the deadline for ordering. The green notes when the emails are going out. So we've already had the first one go out last month. As you can see, the next is going out this week and the next week after, and those are the deadlines for those two, and so on. So again, right before holidays, it's often scheduled to, again, create a sense of urgency. You can tie these to your own sale prices or whatever you'd like to encourage early sales. So consider that as a way to help your yearbook sales. The highlights of the program are there are 26 email sends that go out, right? So one is done. Second one is coming up on the 6th. There's a Spanish option and one wild card option. And the most common use of the wild card, so what that is a single design that can be sent in lieu of the regularly scheduled one that we've outlined here. Most common use of this is, you know, you have a unique deadline or sales need to end at your school earlier than we've planned on our calendar. So just consider that. You always have one wild card. We can plan that out and send it when you need it to go out. The postcards, by the way, as a side note, are available. Many of you listening may have done that in the past where we custom print these postcards. We put the postage on, we send it out. That's all at our expense. And I'll tell you, it's a really expensive endeavor. And the results over the years have dwindled to, it's not good. As we all get our mail, we often stand over the recycling bin and it goes right in, right? Where an email, if someone gets this, and it's a monthly email, by the way, in general, that you can see on the calendar, there's a button that says purchase yearbook and it takes them right to our order center for your yearbook. So this is just the way of the world. So this works. The postcards, really, the results have been dwindling over the years. So we're going to be discontinuing that in the future. This is working. We have a track record with the emails working now, so I just want to mention that. This is always included. Additional resources that come with these emails are in-school support materials, including social media posts, web banners, and of course the send and sell and create and share templates built into eDesign to help you send out corresponding, you know, notifications to folks who haven't bought a book yet. And as a side note, if parents don't want to receive it, there's always an option to opt out, just like any other email that they might sign up for. So it'll go out every month to those who have not bought a book. As soon as they do, they're taken off the list. But if they don't want, they can opt out as well. You'll also notice, rather than school colors in the past, we've had the artists select colors that complement the design. And by the way, if you notice, these photographs are a little bit different than last year, and video as well. And we've pulled these from student photographs from all over the US, and there's photo credits on the side. So what a neat way, a little tangent here. If you're a photographer and you'd like at the end of this year to submit some of your photos to be considered to use in this purpose nationally, please feel free to send those to me. So the colors, as you can see, red, you know, the colors are pulled out to match that, and they're very timely. I can send this PDF to you anytime, and as you can see, the whole year is laid out, and it's tied into the time of year. So for example, let's scroll down here to, I think February was a clear one. I mean, all of these are really laid out to complement the time of year and correspond with what's going on. You know, there's Valentine's Day. So again, these are great tools to help support your yearbook sales at school. Let's see, new for 2018. Again, the student photography is pulled from all over the U.S. Parents can opt out. And a little side note on selling all of your books. We hope this program helps you sell out of all your books. please know that these emails here continue to go out until you ask us to stop. So depending on when you finalize your final book count with me, you're going to look at all of your in-school sales, all your online sales, which are all tracked for you here in eBusiness, and you'll confirm a final number. At that point, you want to make sure we cut off any future emails so we don't sell more books than you've confirmed to actually print. So again, heads up, the second email is going out this week and more to come. You can jump in anytime. So if this is something that you think will help your yearbook sales, please let me know. I'm happy to help you. We got to get the database from your school office into the program so these can go out, and it's automated at that point, and you can just sit back and watch the sales come in online and complement it with all your efforts at school. So again, that's the parent email campaign for this school year. And sorry, my computer just went to sleep. We're going to switch gears here, and I want to share a couple quick blog posts with you before we go today. And I'll post links to these in the notes below, so you're welcome to look at this later. But creating order from chaos. So for those of you who have been on Yearbook for a while, you walk into that room and it might seem a little crazy, but you who have been on Yearbook staff, you know where everything is and how it's organized. For those of you who might be new to Yearbook, it might be a little bit overwhelming. So there's a couple great suggestions in here. Pinterest is one of them. Just simply type in organizing the yearbook room and you'll find some really great ideas. One thing I found really unique about this post was this idea of a wish list. If there are things that, boy, you would love to have in the publications room, newspaper, yearbook, if you make a wish list, you could work towards it as far as, reach a certain sales goal or fundraisers and be able to afford stuff. But also think about those events where parents are coming back to school. You might have some parents that come see this wish list and say, boy, you would love a couch, for the yearbook, publications room. I've got one to donate kind of situation. Or I work at a company and I can donate this. So something that might help. Another example here was a carpenter, a parent, and they wanted a mail center to organize all their, incoming ads and all the mail that they'd receive for a yearbook. And they made one for them. So just something to consider. A wish list, post it, predominantly in the room so it's clear to everyone on staff, but also any visitors that might be able to, help out with something like that. So think about that. It's also a really good idea, and there's a link here to have a staff manual to make sure you have everyone on the same page and who does what and all that. So consider that. Again, I'll share this in the notes below. The next one I want to share with you is all about theme. So that's probably another topic you're talking about, hopefully, or will be. If you haven't done a theme in the past, it's something to consider. The idea of a theme is, to tell the story of the whole year in a unique and compelling way that the community appreciates, right? So within your own community. It's something with verbals and nonverbal pieces that tie in that concept of this school year, and that's important. You'll read in the blog post here about making it unique to this year. What we don't want to get into a practice of is, and you don't want your readers thinking this, right, is it's the same yearbook with a different cover. You don't want that. You want it to be more than skin deep. You don't want it to just be the cover that changes. You want to think of fun ways, tying in a theme perhaps, of making the book unique this year. So consider a theme. It's really helpful and it's fun to bring a theme to your yearbook. One idea here, after you brainstorm, whether it's in large groups or in small groups, and then vote on one that surfaces at the top, once you come up with that one theme concept that you want to kind of run by everybody, is running it also through the 5R test, as you see below. Is it recognizable? Meaning, in your community at school, people are going to get it without a long explanation. Is it obvious, right? Is it recognizable? Next one is repeatable. Is it relevant? And again, is it relevant to this school year and your school? Is it refreshing? Is it something new for this year? And of course, is it realistic? Is it something that you can realistically carry through all the sections of the book? So you don't want to get into something that bogs down in time, or it doesn't apply to all the sections of the book. So again, think about that as you go through that process, and I'll share that link as well. Last one is getting to know your team. So as I mentioned, Many of you listening, you might know each other really well, right? If this is a yearbook staff listening, you know you know each other well enough where you know each other's orders for lunch, dinner, your Starbucks order, right? If you're working late after school, you need some caffeine. But be considerate of those in the room who might be new to yearbook. So this is a page that has some fun icebreakers and kind of get to know you activities to make sure we're all inclusive and we include the new faces and really have a lot of fun. Those inside jokes are fun. Keep them and please welcome all those new folks into it as well. So that's another blog post on getting to know each other as a team. In closing, and again, I'll share the links to all of these, I just wanted to mention, please feel free to call, email me anytime. The school year is here. I'm excited to see you guys and see what you do in the yearbook this year. I'd love to review your plans this year, talk theme, talk any technology questions you might have, Square One, e-design changes, and we'll have some changes coming out that you'll see more about. It's pretty exciting stuff. Schedule our next meeting, a virtual meeting, kind of like the podcast here where we can interact. We can do that anytime. Come meet in person at school, phone calls, the virtual art session I mentioned with Brett or other artists. We can schedule that as well. So if you have your theme kind of ironed out and you need maybe some assistance in fine-tuning it, or simply let's take it to the next level, let's create the cover, the end sheets, the folio, anything like that. We're happy to schedule that virtual meeting with the artist where we can interact and create something. So please note that, and we'll be talking soon, but we want to get that cover done by Halloween. So your cover and end sheets, that's only a month away now, guys. So it comes up quickly here, end of Halloween, end of October. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, it's a monthly format now, so not weekly. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear it, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.